Hey guys, good afternoon. It's about 1:17 p.m. October 5th. I think today's a really crucial day in the market. The Nasdaq has made a 61.8 Fibonacci retracement from the recent sell-off high, and the S&P 500 has made a 50% retracement on the money. I'll show you what I'm talking about. If we do a intraday 10 days, actually let's do 30-day 20-minute candles. You can kind of see the market is really at an interesting point here. If we go back on S&P 500 ETF SPY, you'll see the recent high. I kind of did a closing high. It's a little bit off. The actual high was 358.75. I was kind of looking at different closing candles, but 357.74 common touches before we pulled back, and then you see the big drop, and then the low was 319.80. I'm off a hair, but you get the idea. 319.97 was the low. And if we kind of go over here on the Fibonacci retracement, you'll see that we're literally right at a 50% retracement. You can see the blue lines there. We've made a double top, almost a triple top in that area. That was actually one of the high candle pivot points too before we broke down and had this huge decline. We did break this downward trending wedge, which gave us this rally that we're seeing now, and we've pulled higher and higher from there. But we're literally sitting right there, and if we kind of zoom in on today's intraday, you'll see that blue line carries over. And we're really at a crucial point right here because the market definitely has rallied. I mean, we sold off, but it's weird how we sold off. We kind of sold off with the news on Trump, but it was at a point where we kind of should have sold off anyway. Just technically, it looked like we retraced enough of the move. And you can see it like in a lot of different stocks like Shop and Nvidia and stuff like that, where we kind of pulled back. But it's almost like we should have pulled back there anyway. We just needed a little bit of a trigger. And the Trump news was the trigger. Now the Trump is, I guess the perception is that he's going to be fine and everything's, now where do we go from there? Did we just rally into a point where we should have been selling off anyway, and this is just going to be a very weak rally? It's very hard to say. A lot of stocks, like I said, like Shop, have kind of now returned. If you look at the 1-year daily on Shop, we've kind of returned to like this pivot breakdown candle right here. Like if you were trading stock at Shop and you were long, you're getting catching these waves and these waves here. If you kind of look within this time frame, this little candle right here was the last candle before the breakdown, and that's kind of exactly where we hit. This might be off a little bit, but you can kind of see where that carries over. And these are like areas of resistance and energy that are more time related. Same thing with DraftKings. Like DraftKings looks super strong when you look at it from like the last 4 or 5 days, but it stretched beyond its channel, right? And now you're saying, well, it's down 6.5% intraday, and it's been super strong. Why is that a short, or why is that not a stock that should be bought? Well, from an intraday and hourly, it's oversold, but from the macros on the 1-year daily, it's not really oversold. In fact, if you look at the MACD, we're now at a high wave count where we should be kind of curling back down. You look at the RSI, we're still pinned in a high area. We should be curling back down, but we're oversold intraday. So it's kind of two worlds colliding here. You could get a lot of distribution around the 61, 62 area, and this could literally pull back. Depending on how the market is, into the 49.50 area. Now it sounds insane, but and it's been really strong. So by no means am I saying short Donkey Kong here, DKNG, but you might be creating like another channel here. It kind of looks more like this channel in this area here. So you kind of have a different wave count here, and you just hit the top of that other channel that now we've created, which is a higher trajectory channel. So I'm just being cautious here. QQQ, same thing, except it did not make a 50% retracement on the Fibonacci. It made a 61.8, but that's okay because the Qs have been stronger. And if you look at the intraday, 30-day, 20 minutes on the Qs, you look at the same thing. We did a fib from the recent bounce high to 282, and then the pullback, and now we're at the 61.8 right there. Now if you look intraday at the 61.8. You can see where that kind of lines up. Again, right there. We got a little bit through it, but it's having hard time holding over that level. So interesting action today. Very interesting for the market moving forward here. I'm a little cautious going into the close, but nothing crazy. But just from a larger perspective, with the retracements we've made, I think the market needs more time before it can push to a much higher level of highs.